Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving a day early. You're listening to the Fitness Show brought to you by UFC Gym of Santa Clarita. I'm Ellen Como, your host, and I have Mike Lindsay here with me today, the owner of UFC Gym Santa Clarita. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm honored to be back.
Yes, I'm so glad to have you back. And today, before we start the show, we're going to talk about the turkey, the elephant in the room, or the turkey in the room, I guess, right? Thanksgiving tomorrow. And this is a fitness show. And the first thing I want to talk to everyone about before we even get started and all the other exciting news that we have about UFC Gym Santa Clarita is that tomorrow is going to be a huge eating day. And actually, welcome to the holidays. The holidays are a time for overindulging in absolutely everything. And I just want to kind of put a thought out there for everyone. Number one, you can't out-exercise poor nutrition. That's the number one out of the gate. You're not going to be able to out-exercise any of the overabundance of calories that you're going to be taking in over the holidays. So be really mindful about where these calories are coming from. Are they necessary? Do you really need them in order to have a happy Thanksgiving? Now, I'm not saying don't enjoy yourself because that's what the holidays are for, but don't take it to such a limit where you can't even get off the sofa. It's a great way, if you after dinner, to take the whole family out, go for a nice walk. It's really fun. You get to kind of bond. And if you're going away for the holidays, I put all my clients on this regimen. 30 minutes, either on a treadmill if they're going to be inside, or if they're maybe up in the mountains or at the beach, I tell them for 30 minutes, go out there, 1 minute walking, 1 minute slight jogging. And then when you get to a hill, you run up the hill, walk down the hill. Why do I tell them to do that? Because running downhill is harder on your joints than running up. So you run up the hill, which is easier on your joints. And I know that sounds intimidating, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint here. If you're running uphill, get up on your toes and kind of take your body towards the hill. At that point, you're going to notice that you just fly up the hill. A lot of times what happens is people get to a hill and they kind of back off the hill because they're intimidated. When they do that and go back on their heels, it makes you harder. You are fighting the hill now. You're not going with gravity, you're going against gravity. So just give that a try and see how you like it. I mean, it's been working with my clients for years and years and years. It's why I would rather run up a hill. I'm a toe runner anyway, but if you get on your toes, get your energy going forward, you're going to find out you slide right up that hill. And then you're going to turn around, look at what you did, and feel really accomplished, which is always a great feeling in any kind of fitness routine. So make sure you're getting about 30 minutes of cardio per day. If you don't work out at all, 30 minutes is a little bit extreme. That's big shoes to fill. So start with about 20 minutes, and it's 1 minute walking and then just kind of another minute of fast walking. And what you're doing by breaking it up is you're doing intervals, and that is fat burning. And that's also going to help your heart and your body learn how to go faster when you're going faster, and then eventually you'll get to a running. But if you stay at the same speed all the time, you're going to stay at the same speed all the time. You'll never get faster. You might get farther, but you'll never get faster. So you got to make the way you get faster is by going faster. And the way you're going to go longer is by going longer. So I hope I didn't confuse you. So tomorrow, just, enjoy that. Gosh, enjoy your family and friends, and be patient because it's such a stressful time right now. And even in the parking lot yesterday, I had a very impatient person behind me, and I could have reacted, and I didn't. I just kind of ignored it because I have no idea what that person is going through. And we don't know the stressors. And then I'm going to just put out another just little note. Don't starve yourself all day and then just sit down to a big dinner. Eat healthy all day long. What I see is people starving all day. They show up to the family function. Sometimes there's a little stress going on in the family. The first thing they do is have a drink. Well, now you're drinking on an empty stomach. Now you have no filter, and now you're going to overeat. So sometimes it just doesn't turn out to be like the best evenings. So we can avoid all of that by eating healthy throughout the day, making sure that by the time you show up, make it about your family. Be patient and know that, none of us are perfect. We all have our issues, and we all are trying our best. And just enjoy those around you and find the positive in everyone in the room. And then you're going to be able to go to bed, wake up, and you're going to feel amazing the day after Thanksgiving. So that's my little happy Thanksgiving.
It's in depth. Everyone's ready to go now.
Oh, yeah, right? Now you're ready to take it on, right? Even with the crazy family all around you. I'm kidding. So, Mike, there's a lot of stuff. We have one exciting thing going on in the gym. And I'm going to let you reveal that. Something that one of my favorite things to watch and one of my favorite things to do. So let's talk about the brand new toy in our gym.
Yeah, we just recently got another new toy. We have a brand new boxing ring that we put in. So before that, we had, obviously, UFC Gym is synonymous with an octagon. And for most of the gyms in the area, that's really all they can fit. But we're very fortunate with our UFC Gym Santa Clarita that we have a little more space than a lot of our fellow UFC gyms, and so we could fit in a boxing ring. So we just finished installing it. We're awfully excited just because it kind of brings another element, and for those people that are really into boxing or enjoy boxing or want to try boxing, it gives them another chance to kind of make it real and complete. We do have our 30 heavy bags that everyone likes to work out on, and a lot of our classes are on. But if you want to take it maybe to a next level, be skill wise or just getting the feel of realism, then the boxing ring is certainly unique. And your first time, it can be quite thrilling and quite nerve-wracking at the same time.
I think, just breaking open those ropes and climbing in, right? That's the whole, you're in the ring now.
Absolutely. There's no turning back. Once you get in there, it's hard to, you can't just jump back out again. So you're committed. So it's most people, obviously, like I said, are kind of very nervous, but, very excited at the same time. And that first session especially, I think, is one that you never forget when you get to kind of work in a live boxing ring. And we have an official size one, which is an 18-foot square. So you get to feel the whole feeling a pro boxer would. You can't run and hide. You got to learn to move and adjust, and you get a great workout at the same time.
Now, is it going to be one-on-one, or is it going to be classes, are people actually going to be sparring in there?
Well, UFC Gym is predominantly just like a family fitness center using mixed martial arts and boxing and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu just to get fit. So we're not really a fight gym or anything like that. So we have very few classes orientated towards fighting per se. We, obviously we will be running some of our private coaching in there. And for those people who they call them like mitt work and things like that, a lot of that will be done in there. Some of our skills classes will be done in there. And we do have obviously a little contingent of members that do get excited by the idea of stress relief and putting the headgear on and getting after each other. So for those people, we will offer a sparring class once per week where they can kind of come in. Obviously, it's supervised and controlled, but we'll give them the chance to kind of let out all their angst and test their skills.
Yeah, so if you ever just looked at a boxer and always dreamt what would that feel like, now you get to know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It can't get more real than that.
And in a controlled setting. So, obviously very fortunate in the sense you can experience it, with a professional coach who's done it for many years and is very aware of your skill set and, your nervousness or, and what you're kind of going through because they've been there themselves. Yeah,
and let's talk about the boxing coaches. Is there one or more boxing coaches over at UFC Gym?
We have a great crew of coaches. One in particular, obviously, we have a Coach Angelo, who is an ex-professional. He has fought some wonderful boxers where a lot of people probably know the names. He fought Mayweather and Oscar De La Hoya would be two of the bigger names that he fought. So obviously very experienced pro boxer, was in the Olympic trials, boxed for several years, then became actually a sparring partner for Oscar De La Hoya for 2 years. So very accomplished. He's kind of the head of, in a sense, our boxing director. Mm-hmm. He does a lot of our skills classes and really kind of helps us steer our boxing program, towards a certain direction. But in saying that, obviously we do have other coaches. It's always a chemistry thing with coaches. You kind of, some coaches you kind of feel more comfortable or gravitate towards. Maybe your personalities are more similar. So we do have other coaches that are obviously also very experienced in boxing. So we've got Coach Asia, who's helping some of our females because it's a comfortable fit. Obviously the females sometimes prefer to work with a female coach. We have Coach Armando and Coach Demont that are presently doing amateur fights. So obviously their skill set's very high too. So those are kind of three of many coaches we have that kind of are ready to go in that boxing realm.
Yeah, most of the coaches, all the coaches at UFC Gym Santa Clarita, we actually do what we teach. And we stay in our lane lines of who we are. And that's what delivers the top-notch training that you get at UFC Gym.
Yeah, we're very fortunate. Obviously, UFC's one of its mottos is to, or principles is to obviously always hire coaches that are very professional and accredited and experienced in their area. So, you won't find a coach that's maybe done a weekend accreditation in our clubs. They're either they're still in their sport, which is always great because they bring that active energy of someone that's still competing, or they've maybe just finished their time as a sports person in that particular sport, and they're just excited to kind of share their knowledge and wealth of knowledge that they've learned through their journey.
Yeah, some of the newer coaches that come out just came out and are starting, I've got to say they're exciting to work with because they're so excited to finally share their passion with others. And for those of us that have done it for a long time, so I love sometimes when I get to spend time with a brand new coach because they kind of give me that sense that it's almost like taking your kid to Disneyland for the first time. We've seen Disneyland our whole lives, but you take someone, a little kid, you see it through their eyes just for a moment and you remember how amazing it is. And not saying that every single time I walk into the gym, I don't love what I do, but to have that newness, that excitement that they bring to their classes and with their members and the clients is exciting for me to watch that, and how they're picking stuff up and they're sponges, but they're learning, but they know what they're teaching as well. So it's so much fun, and to see them excited. It's just, if you're going to be able to actually take the time and work with these coaches, it's going to be exciting time for you and for them together. And you're going to even feel it. They're just the bounce they have in their step. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's definitely contagious. A lot, that energy kind of creates energy. And I know, sometimes we have the fortunate ability, obviously with a bigger gym, that we'll kind of combine classes or sneak a little sneak attack on some of our students and, put maybe two coaches together. And it's always exciting because obviously each coach has their strengths and they kind of make that session, to the next level. And obviously as coaches, we're always learning from each other also. So it's just a great little environment right now. We're very excited with the staff we have. We feel like we're probably one of the top best gyms in Southern California just from the skill set of our trainers and staff. And so, obviously it just kind of feeds everyone's passion. Our classes are our main area. That's, that's our specialty in a sense. And, I think every day you could come in, you could take a variety of classes and, you'll just feel, energy and you've got great warmth from each instructor, regardless of who it is.
Yeah, it's very diversified.
Very, yeah. They're all coming from different angles, which is good. So, we're fortunate in the sense of our gym, you can mix it up very easily. A lot of gyms you just go to and it's the same things just done over and over. Our gym, depending on how your body's feeling or how your mood is, you can kind of pick and choose your workout. Some days you might push yourself a little bit harder with what you see as like a more challenging class. Other days you might step back and kind of, maybe you're tired with your arms and shoulders, so you just take a spin class. We always try and kind of give you lots of variety, and it just never gets boring. So you can stay within our gym and be constantly changing. You don't have to kind of be bouncing around different facilities or different kind of environments. You can kind of just do one and keep a lot of variety. Yeah,
you don't need to belong to 3 gyms. And if you're not real familiar with gyms, a lot of gyms have one theory that carries throughout the gym, and they have one way that they think about everything. And what that does is, I'm not saying bad or good. I'm just saying when you walk in, you're always going to get that same theory. At UFC, we have different theories. There's cycle class, like you said, take an indoor spin class, cycle class, or you can go to a boxing class or kickboxing class, DUT, my class, more resistance training, or a boot campy class. There's so many different types in one. So it's not that we've taken one theory. I guess the theory would be train different, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Exactly. Yeah.
That would be the
diversity,
theory.
Yeah. Keep the body guessing and, it keeps you mentally fresh. So, that is definitely that is obviously the UFC gym motto, is to train different. For a lot of people, that just means obviously coming in and doing a boxing or kickboxing for the first time. But kind of, as you're kind of discussing, it really means more than that. It means that ability to kind of get different ideas and perspectives and not kind of be, boxed into one kind of training method.
Yeah. No pun intended there.
Yeah. No, it's very good.
Yeah, when you walk into UFC, you're going to have a whole, the coaches, we're all so different, but I think that's what makes the strength. if everyone's the same, it's all going to be leaning to one side. But when you have a little bit of equal here and there, it makes a strength throughout the gym. And what it does is allows you to walk in the door. And if you have a question, that question might be best served to maybe Lyndon. Maybe he's going to be the perfect person to answer your question. Or maybe you're going to go, you know what, I really need to answer, go to Asia because she's got, you'll get to know who we are. Or I get questions all the time. I even get questions from people that haven't even taken my class yet. But they know what I do, and so they've taken that time to figure that out, or they just see it, and they might ask me a question, and then they might come experience a few classes after I answer their question. So, it gives you as a member, you have so much power at this gym over the ownership of your body and where you want to go with it. But you have the guidance of an expert staff to help you get there. So, it's an impressive place. I love walking in the door every single day. I love watching all the different coaches. And I know all the coaches are watching each other. And I know that we talk and we share. And that's such an important thing to do. And there's no egos at that gym, which I love, which is very, very rare, because that's one of the top things. If you walk into a gym, the egos kind of float around, That's why being an owner, I have all the respect in the world, because like trying to handle a bunch of trainers, it's tough. That's not an easy job. But I noticed this is like a really good group that is over at USC, and they're very welcoming. They make you feel like family from the moment you step in the door.
Yeah. A lot of times people would expect a UFC gym trainer to be very type A person, or very much an alpha, or something like that. But a lot of times it's very surprising. Our trainers are so humble and always trying to learn. It's exciting when people come in, they have perceptions of these trainers, and possibly they're past fighters or things like that, and then they get to meet them, and it's they totally throw that out the window. Because like you were saying, like everyone there we have a very good educational culture where everyone's trying to learn and expand their horizons from each other. And I think being fighters a lot of times, or training in mixed martial arts, you're always looking for different angles or ideas or thoughts like that. So these coaches have taken that idea into their training life, and kind of always trying to expand their horizons and their repertoire so they can give it to their clients. So it's exciting. It's always one of those things where I encourage people, just come check out the gym or try a class, and you'll be happily surprised.
Yeah. I got to say, people that walk in the door, they end up being members. They just do. Because after spending a week there and taking all the different classes, meeting all the different trainers, and you were talking about the coaches that have been in the ring in one way or another, or fought. You have to know these are coaches that have won and lost. They know how to do both. And I think that has a lot to do with how humble they are. If you're the authentic, real deal, you don't need to have an ego.
Right.
If you're the authentic, real deal, you don't have to pump up your chest. You can just quietly be who you are, and that's enough. You don't have to prove anything because it's there. And I see that in so many of the coaches in our gym. It's funny too, because I see them being silly and goofy in a corner, and then I think, gosh, I can't even imagine, like, this person's a weapon in a ring. But you would never know that outside the ring, because they're also welcoming and open. And so I just, that was something for me. I've come from a gym perspective. I have taken boxing before, but this is my first time really working with the people that are in the game. And I just, I got to say, it's a pleasure, and they're all wonderful. And I think if you walk in and just experience our gym in 1 week of classes, you're going to just fall in love with these guys and girls, and everybody's so wonderful there.
Yeah. Especially we're excited with the new boxing ring. Obviously, it brings another element. And so, it's kind of, if those people have been out there thinking about it, and particularly if they're into or excited about boxing, this is the perfect time. So we've got all the bags, speed bags, now the boxing ring. Obviously, we still have the octagon. That hasn't gone anywhere. That's our centerpiece, of course. But, we have a lot of variety and a lot of good stuff happening. We just continue to kind of add products and exercises and exercise equipment. And so we just hopefully keep looking to grow and grow.
Absolutely. We're going to take a break. We're going to be right back. We're going to talk more about our classes, and then let's get a little bit deeper about boxing, kickboxing, like how are they different? So let's do that when we get back. This is Ellen Como on the Fitness Show on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.